Election Denier Alexander Kolodin seeks to run Arizona's elections as Secretary of State. Arizona Republican primary voters nominated Alexander Kolodin to be their candidate for Secretary of State, the state's top election official, despite a record that includes an admonition from the Arizona State Bar for election denial activities. Kolodin's most prominent legal effort was a lawsuit filed in federal court in Phoenix that aimed to release the Kraken and prove that the 2020 presidential election had been rigged in favor of Joe Biden. Judge Diane Hamatewa dismissed the case, writing that the claims of widespread voter fraud were sorely wanting of relevant or reliable evidence and describing the 300-plus pages of attachments as only impressive for their volume. Following the ruling, the state bar fined Kolodin, required him to attend mandatory ethics classes, and placed him on probation for violating his duty to the legal profession, the legal system, and the public. Kolodin defeated his Republican primary opponent, Gina Swoboda, by roughly 20 percentage points. His victory has raised alarms among Democrats and some Republicans who view him as a hard-driving election denier likely to restrict voting access and to amplify the election conspiracy theories promoted by former President Donald Trump and his allies. Kolodin, an Ivy League-educated lawyer who sits in the state legislature's far-right Freedom Caucus, has countered that Democrats are the ones who have undermined confidence in Arizona's elections. In a recent appearance on a conservative podcast, Kolodin described the Secretary of State as the most important chief elections officer in the world, arguing that the road to the White House runs directly through that office, the road to the congressional majority runs directly through that office. Adrian Fontes, the Democrat currently serving as Arizona's Secretary of State, has begun highlighting Kolodin's record, pointing to his unfounded claims of massive election fraud in 2020 and his legal work for Cyber Ninjas, the firm that conducted a controversial audit of the 2020 race and failed to produce any evidence that Trump was cheated of victory. Requests for comment from Kolodin and his campaign went unanswered. Within the divided Arizona Republican Party, Kolodin's embrace of Trump's false claims could alienate moderates and independents who often decide general elections. Former Republican Secretary of State Ken Bennett warned that Kolodin is trying to scare voters concerned about election integrity into believing the system is terribly broken and that he will fix it. That's the latest on Alexander Kolodin's bid to become Arizona's Secretary of State.